So suppose that there were no more words. Suppose there were no more words. Nothing at all required to be heard now. Nothing required to be seen also. Nothing required to be touched also. No presence needed to be felt also. No presence also. No taste. No senses. You would still remain, isn't it? There was no body, no senses, not even the presence of being. Yet you would remain. No phenomena to be experienced. Could there be suffering in this? If there was no phenomena ever experienced, could you suffer? You would not even know the meaning of suffering. So why does suffering come? Because all this play starts of phenomena, being starts, and this game starts, and then we want it to go in a certain way, or we don't want it to go in another way. But if you were to not be concerned about which way this game is going, which way this dream is playing, then it would be impossible to suffer. So we must stop pretending to control the flow of life. Nobody has been ever able to control their life. Nobody has been able to run their life. So freedom from suffering is not the ability to control your life, but it is to be neutral to whatever is arising and going. And neutrality does not mean that we stop smiling or we stop crying also. It does not mean that. It is the inner neutrality that we are speaking of, unconcerned with even this outward expression. So it could be that lots of tears are coming here, but it is seen that awareness is unconcerned by it. Many of you have seen this for your own self, isn't it? A lot of times you start laughing or you start crying, but inside you are unmoved. So in this way, there is complete freedom for consciousness to play the way it wants, but we remain completely neutral. Because in the way that we define consciousness, even consciousness we are not. And if this is your first satsang, don't give too much of your mind into this. We'll explain this in more detail. But you know, the ones who have been in satsang for a while know that we are the pure witness even of the arising and dissolution of consciousness itself. Then you let consciousness do whatever it wants. This is called allowing or non-resistance. It's not like you have an option anyway. Consciousness cannot be controlled. It's not in a person's control. Many have tried over so many millions of years to control life, and none have succeeded. So just watch this movie. Don't try to control the ending of the movie. Then you start enjoying the movie. But if you're too concerned about what the next scene is, what's going to happen next, if you're too attached to the characters in the movie, then you're really not enjoying it, you see. The entire past year has come and gone in the blink of an eyelid. Our entire life of the past has come and gone in the blink of an eyelid. Where is the past now? There are those characters that at one point we felt we cannot live without. So many of those have come and gone. So many so-called loves of our lives, and so many nemesis and enemies, and so many people have come and gone. In this game, in this movie, all this will happen. As simple as seeing who is witnessing all of this. It's not an abstract question, it's not a difficult question. Right now, it can be checked. Who witnesses the movement of time? Today, we are celebrating the new year. 2014 has become 2015. But what has really changed? So, even like this, we witness the movement of time. What is moving forward? Every moment, what is moving forward? Who knows this movement? Who is aware of the now, of the now, of the now? Fresh, every instant, completely fresh. Is the witnessing also changing now, now, now? Or is only the appearances changing now, now? Is awareness 1 year older? Does it have some more gray hair? What can we say about this pure witnessing, this pure awareness? Like this, another million years can go. Suppose you were completely lied to. Suppose there is no end to this circle of birth and death. No end. Yeah? Suppose nirvana or moksha was a myth. Is that a problem for you? Suppose this is just one of 10,000 lives that are still to come. You're just getting started with this cycle of birth and death. Suppose it was like this. Then it won't matter if you have now become unconcerned with the content of this phenomena, of this phenomenal world, then it won't matter whether you're in the cycle of birth and death or you attain nirvana or moksha or whatever you call it, makes no difference because as awareness you are untouched. You are ever free. In fact, you are not being born and you are not dying, isn't it? What can be born and what can die is not you. Many times in a minute, the mind takes birth and the mind dies. The mind takes birth and the mind dies. Hmm? So, how many lifetimes of this mind can happen in one day? Mind to no mind, to mind to no mind. That's why I constantly point you to the witnessing of all of this phenomena. You see, if you believe, if I were to give you a game and I were to say, you have to now, for the next 1 hour, pretend to be an old man sitting at the side of the Ganga, sitting on the banks of the Ganga. Okay? So you just believe all the thoughts which can come about this identity of being an old man sitting on the banks of the Ganga. And if you believe enough thoughts about it, it will seem so real to you, this identity. See, you'll give it a name, you'll give it a story. There's so much. See, already it might be happening for some of you. The visuals will come, the picture will come. Some of you have never seen the Ganga, but it will seem so real, so real. Like this. So, in the same way, we built up this imaginary persona about ourselves. All it would take actually would be about maybe 30, 40, 50 thoughts for you to become deeply attached to this identity of this old man on the banks of the Ganga. Actually, with full sincerity, if you were to believe some 50, 60 thoughts, I feel it's enough. There would be some attachment already. You see, wow, that's a beautiful character. Maybe that's what I want in my next life. This is the power of belief.
This life itself feel like never go to the
Yes, yes, yes. For some, it's possible to do in this life itself. This is the power of our belief. More and more, we have believed and believed in this imaginary persona, which we've given our name, this label, whatever we are called as a person. So first, we bring this imagination to the forefront, and then we want to control the life of this imaginary person. And for what? All for nothing. Maybe in the beginning it would have seemed like this would have been fun, or this would be fun. It must have been promised like this. But it's gone too far now. This identity has been taken too far. And yet, because it is completely imagined, it is not difficult to unravel if you are open. But if you want to make this imagined one free, or this imagined entity happy, then I cannot help you. This is not about freedom for the imagined person. This is not even about personal happiness. There are many, many, many in the world who are focused on this personal happiness. There are so many psychiatrists and psychologists who are focused on trying to make people happy. And it's a much more viable business. It's a much more viable business because the person will never be happy, but you can show them some glimpses of what happiness could mean. And then they would keep coming back more and more. Here, if you see the truth, then no person, it's not a personal life, then nothing much more to be said actually. So either the person can react very strongly and say, okay, this is not for me, this is not what I'm looking for. I still want to try it out as a person. Many have like this. The doubt could be something else, but ultimately at the root it could be this doubt that I still want to make it as a person. But it does not work. It does not work. It's the same trouble. It doesn't matter. You see, I've been reading, some of you know, I've been reading this one book by Marcus Aurelius. I'm not sure if I'm getting the name right now, but Marcus Aurelius was one of the great Roman emperors. And at that time in Rome, they used to control most of the so-called civilized world. And if you read his notes and you read his journal, same trouble, same. See, family, enough wealth, security, death, old age, body issues. So the great emperor, one of the greatest emperors of Rome, did not have a chance to add happiness as a person. Then why do we keep deluding ourselves? Why do we keep chasing these ideas? If we must idolize someone who is beyond their suffering now, who has stopped suffering. Doesn't have to be a guru sitting in an ashram. Doesn't have to be a guru who does satsang also. If you find a being who is beyond suffering, who is untouched by the ups and downs of life, it is enough to sit at their feet.